So it's another Monday, ShavenHeadz Day. I'm going to tell a story. This is one from a long time ago, and it involves my wife. And I hope it comes off hilariously funny because I thought I would die laughing when this happened. This was back, remember Ricardo Montalban and rich Corinthian leather? Is anybody able to remember that? That was an advertisement that they used on their Chrysler Cordoba. Anyway, I had one of those. It was a sharp car. It was claret red with a white vinyl top and opera lights, and just, it was cool. I mean, it was the kind of car you just like to sit in the garage and just sit in it because it was a cool car. Which, that's what we did most of the time because it didn't run. It was, of all the cars I've had, the worst car. It was the Lemon. It was a monster. By the time we got rid of it, I ended up owing more in repair bills than I owed on the car. This was back in the mid-70s. Anyway, we just had untold problems with this car. I can remember one time I had it towed 3 times out of 4 days back to the garage for them to fix it and come back, and it's fixed, and it really wasn't. So needless to say, my wife and I had a real love-hate relationship and a real fear of this car. And at that time she was working and would work until like 9 o'clock at night, and she worked at the mall not too far from home, and she would come home. Guys, do you ever have this happen when the wife pulls into the driveway and the horn beeps? You know, one of two things. One, I bought so much crap I can't carry it all in myself. Or, number 2, something so horrible has happened, you have to run out to the car and let me tell you, because I just can't bear to come into the house and tell you. So it's bad news, whichever way it is, when the wife pulls up and the horn beeps. So she pulls up, the horn beeps, I go out. It was a summer evening, not brutally hot, but just a nice summer evening. By then, of course, it was getting dark, after 9 o'clock. And I walk up to the driver's side, and I know, yes, she's crying, and I'm trying to say, what's going on, honey? And she starts, trying to talk the way girls do when they're crying. And I'm noticing out of my eyeball here in the back of the seat on my Corinthian leather, there's this big long tailpipe, like a car tailpipe. And I'm like, what happened? Well, I picked it up out of the road. I got it. I picked it up out of the road. And I'm thinking, holy crap, did she pick up a hot muffler and throw it in on my hot Corinthian leather seats? But no, she couldn't have done that because it would have been too hot for her to pick up. So I'm trying to, well, what happened? Well, I ran over it. Okay, so you ran over this pipe. Yeah, and so I stopped and I picked it up because you wouldn't believe me. Now I'm in trouble because I wouldn't have believed her if the muffler fell off. Now guys, you also have to remember why we're having this conversation. I'm thinking to myself, this Chrysler, it don't run much, but man, when it runs, it's smooth. This baby is purring like a kitten. And I've got like this 6-foot muffler pipe in my back seat. So I said, honey, go ahead and pull the car into the garage so we can at least put the car away and we'll talk about this. And as she, pulls it forward, I'm thinking, damn, that car runs smooth with no muffler. This is cool. So, I just couldn't help myself from getting down on my knees and looking up under the car. And what do I see? Complete muffler and tailpipe. Now, how do I handle this, guys? What do I do at this point? My wife's brought home a 6-foot long muffler tailpipe in my car, crying because it fell off and she ran over it. It truly was a Lucy moment, because she did explain to me how she had pulled out of the parking lot onto a busy 4-lane highway. And I don't know if I think she must have actually run over this pipe, stopped the car, got out of the car, retrieved the 6-foot-long pipe from the middle of the road that was at that point cold, because who knows how long it had been laying there, and shoved it in our car so that she could prove to me, what had happened. It truly was, the funniest moment in my life, as I laid, really, I was completely wiped out at that point. What do you say? Guys, how would you have explained this to your wife? The fact that she hit something that had been laying in the middle of a busy road, stopped her car, risked her life to pick up something that didn't have anything at all to do with her. But that's because we were really mad at our car and always assumed it was going to fall apart. But there you go, one of my funniest Debbie stories.